This is Wrestling Republic. Wrestling Republic. This is Wrestling Republic. Wrestling Republic. This is Wrestling Republic. Wrestling Republic. This is Wrestling Republic.
Good evening from London, wrestling fans. I'm your host, Ben Allison, and you are listening to Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast. And today we're giving our predictions for Money in the Bank, which of course takes place tomorrow. Joining me today, we have firstly the host of Take It to the Table, Chaos. How are you today, Chaos?
What's good? What's good? Yes, it's your boy Chaos. And yeah, I'm happy to be here to give my little predictions for quite possibly the most unpredictable pay-per-view or PLE of the year, especially on WWE side. So yeah, I'm here. I'm busy drinking my Wraith energy drink right here. Again, this is the Soul's Tears flavor because I'm going to be sipping on this tremendously, excessively tomorrow when Soul's favorite is not going to win. But we'll get to that shortly. But yeah, glad to be here. Let's go.
We absolutely will get to that shortly, but also joining us, we have the man who's going to be writing the review for the show tomorrow, live as it's happening, and that is the head of reviews, Coby Galenzoski. How are you today, Coby? And it's great to see you awake today.
You gotta have to take that shot, then, of course. Regardless, of course, it's Money in the Bank weekend. NXT Heatwave as well. It's a loaded weekend in Toronto. Wish I would have been able to be there. But of course, it's going to be enjoyable to watch from home regardless. Money in the Bank's always a fun event. And like we said, it is very unpredictable because there's a lot of matches that I don't think any of us can say there's a for sure direction they are going to go. So it's very interesting, and I'm glad to be talking about it on the show, as always.
It absolutely is a very unpredictable card, like both you and Chaos have said. We have quite a few comments here. We have Numero 1 Superfly, shout out to you, Numero 1. And we have Devs Fan 125 as well, shout out to you. And I mean, Soul is not very happy with you, Chaos, at all, is he? He's threatening to put hair removal gel. Oh gosh. Anyway,
from a guy that just can't. Obviously, he will never be able to grow a high top, so it's fine. It's fine. Be jealous. It's all good. You stay there. With your
the hair rivalries continue. Maybe we need a hair versus hair stipulation between you two at some point. But also joining us today, we have the head of opinions, Anthony Ricciardi. How are you, Anthony?
I'm doing all right. You know, it's always fun when it's a double event weekend and Chaos. I completely agree with you. I think there's a certain somebody that will probably cost Soul's favorite wrestler again.
In my eyes, what do you see?
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe more of his family will get involved this time because it's gotten more personal.
Ooh, that would certainly be a shocker indeed, and I would love that. But let's just get straight into it, shall we? The men's Money in the Bank ladder match, because you guys said that you did not think, well, Chaos specifically said that he thought that CM Punk was going to cost Drew McIntyre Money in the Bank. Well, I do think potentially CM Punk will be costing Drew McIntyre in the night, but I don't think it's going to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Because heading into this event, this premium live event, I have two predictions for what I reckon will happen in the main event. And only one of them is going to be correct, but I can't decide which one I think that's going to be. So, to protect myself, I'm making a prediction on both the opener and main event that'll protect me, and I'll be right either way. So I am predicting for the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, Drew McIntyre will win it. But Chaos, what about you? Who do you think will walk out with that briefcase?
It's to the point right now where, like, look, your prediction rate is like -0 right now, so it's like
A couple correct.
Yeah, well, the major ones, the most important ones, and this is an important one, and so far, yeah, you are way off. But yeah, I mean, like I said, this is quite possibly the most unpredictable Money in the Bank, quite possibly ever. I do feel like this is gonna be very. I feel like it's gonna be very stuffed with a lot of interferences. I mean, you could definitely imagine a lot of people getting into this and costing people, preventing them from winning. You know, you got Chad Gable with the Wyatt Six, you got LA Knight with Logan Paul, you got Drew with Punk and additional people. And you know, who else is there? Andrade who has he got? He might somehow get interrupted somehow, but who knows? But yeah, I mean, right now, well, basically, my main pick is obviously a little clue right here. I think the fact that all the promotion material, I know it feels a bit telegraphed, where he's obviously got the Mr. Yeet in the bank and he's on the face of the poster and whatnot, but he's still quite frankly the strongest one out there on that match. And yeah, we've seen it. He was mega over on the last Monday Night's Raw. But yeah, I feel like this is another way for him to possibly be Triple H's first person to probably do a failed cash-in as well. Because I feel like if he does that, and depending how the outcome of it, he could definitely build him up, build off, and not exactly bury him. But that's another conversation. But yeah, my prediction is definitely be Jay. I feel like that is, even though it's kind of telegraphed, I still feel like you can still create a good story out of it, and it wouldn't be a wrong idea. Everyone's quite stipulations and their own little storylines.
Oh, Chaos, your mic's gone again. Same issue as the other day. Yeah, well, I could hear you briefly then, but yeah, it's going again. On and off, on and off.
Did you get my prediction though?
Yeah, Jey Uso. Yeah. It was just right at the end there. It went, and I can hear you again now. So hopefully we're back in business. Yeah. But Chris Leclerc does agree with you, saying Jey Uso wins, and Calf K's K is saying yeet in the bank. But Devs fan 125 agrees with me. Drew's gonna win, and Punk's gonna cost him the cash in later on in the night. But we'll get into that later on for sure. But firstly, Coby, I want to get your prediction. Who do you reckon is going to be walking out Mr. Money in the Bank?
And I think we talked about it already. And I mean, there's a lot of possibilities here. And there's two run-ins that make the most sense. Yes, there's a number of other ones that can happen, but they don't necessarily make the most sense. One, it's Logan Paul and LA Knight. That Logan Paul costing LA Knight the match once again. It makes sense. It adds fuel to their fire. Obviously, their match is probably going to be at SummerSlam because LA Knight does have a victory over Logan Paul. I am fine with that. I'm enjoyable. That can be enjoyable, but there is another one that can happen. And we don't want, I certainly don't want too many run-ins in the Money in the Bank itself. I don't want both Logan Paul and, say, CM Punk showing up. If I'd prefer one. And the one that makes the most sense is Logan Paul, because if Drew McIntyre does win, then he can go on and do whatever with the main event, not main event, but later in the night with Seth Rollins and Damian Priest. If that happens, I'd be fine with that. I do see that as a very strong possibility of Drew McIntyre winning the Money in the Bank, and then CM Punk just costing him the main, either within the match and Drew doesn't win, or costs him when he tries to cash in. I see both of them. I do. Jey Uso is a very strong pick. If I am going to talk about what Chaos has already said, and that's the thing, is it is hard to sit here and kind of go in one direction. I don't see Logan Paul. I don't see Andrade. I don't see Carmelo. And I don't see Chad Gable winning it. I think it is down to Jey Uso or Drew McIntyre. And right now, if I'm thinking what's the most probable, I think they're going to use the Money in the Bank as a driving force. Or not as a driving force, but as one of the elements in the story of CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. I think Drew wins the Money in the Bank. I think Drew.
Jump in on my prediction, Coby. I like it indeed. But yeah, no, I agree with you. It probably does come down to those two. And yeah, I completely agree. But Anthony, who do you reckon is going to walk out Mr. Money in the Bank?
It's kind of funny that you said you were covering your predictions. Isn't that like putting money on both red and black on a roulette wheel to cover your bases?
It literally is, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, your luck it'll end up on green. But honestly, like I've gone back and forth with this because I think even on Take It, I said possibly LA Knight. I've come to the conclusion now. I do think it's Jey Uso. I think he's the hot hand to go with on this. The only reason I even partly thought there was a possibility of LA Knight is only because I think he made some statement of saying he was going to cash in on Logan, which again, I know why they did it last year because it was so convoluted. Austin Theory got caught up in a creative issue and they made him challenge for a lesser title because they didn't want him to challenge for any of the world titles. I don't want that to be a precedent where they're going for secondary titles. Go for the main one. I don't agree with that. I think you could do Logan LA Knight at SummerSlam, which is what I think they're going to do. And they'll probably finally pull the trigger on LA Knight getting the belt in Logan's hometown. I think Jay's going to win. I think that's going to ultimately lead to, I do think it'll probably be a failed cash-in, but I think it'll be a failed cash-in because members of the bloodline are going to come into this because we know this is leading to an eventual bloodline. As far as Drew, I think either Punk or his missus will somehow distract him or both because now he's made it personal. I mean, I don't expect Larry to go in and push the ladder over. But I mean, you know.
I mean, he can fight. Remember, he bit Kenny Omega. So,
No. He was in the room. He did not bite Kenny Omega. Someone else did.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
That was a human.
Technically, you know, when there's a fight in a locker room and you say someone gets bit and there's a dog in the room and the dog's not the one, but anyway, it's just a side thing. But like, I think that's the direction it's going to go. I do think he's going to cost him because there's heat there. And I don't have an issue with multiple run-ins because the Money in the Bank's, it's a ladder match. It's chaotic. And if you're branching off to add more to other feuds out of it, I don't really have an issue with that. And it adds the unpredictability because if you think, oh, LA Knight's getting close to winning, and then Logan Paul strikes him. Gable, the lights go out. The Wyatt thing. Like, I mean, you could do a number of things to make it work. Realistically, the only two that have zero chance of winning this thing is the Speed Champ and who was it? And Carmelo, who hasn't landed at all yet. Those are the only two that legit have no shot. I don't think Gable really has a shot. It's between Drew, LA Knight, and Jey Uso, but quite frankly, I think it's Jey.
Yeah, so there we are then. We are divided. We are perfectly divided. 2 votes for Jey Uso, Anthony, and Chaos, and me and Coby are agreeing on Drew McIntyre. We have DevsFan125 saying AJ Lee is a good number 2 to cost Drew.
I must say, Kath Keskew's prediction is pretty spot on. That's a good point. If it's like the first event, if it's the first match of the night, then Drew's chances are greater, and then that's when Punk actually. And then that's a bigger way to actually cost him. You know, he's cashing in and he makes it, and then Punk comes in and makes him fail. I think I'd be cool with that as well. So that's good. This
is my prediction I've been going on about all week, Chaos. I said it before
no one
anybody
listens
is,
to
and now
me, Ben.
everybody's
No one
saying
listens.
it.
That's the thing. You're usually wrong. That's what I'm saying. That's my bad.
I believe WrestleMania 40 did not end the way you wanted. There's a laughing Chaos video.
I think it did.
Yeah. Exactly.
Chaos stocked the footage on the one which me and him watched, but on the actual version, Roman Reigns won.
Yeah, he used AI.
Yeah, exactly.
He used AI like Grayson Waller says. That's AI.
Yeah, use AI on the actual main event, the real main event of WrestleMania 40. Yeah, that makes total sense.
You really think this was the Mandela effect where everyone remembers Sinbad in a genie movie and it didn't happen?
It was like Doctor Strange. He opened a portal and it accidentally went between multiverses, and now it's all just, now we're in a different dimension, all because Chaos, he didn't want to be wrong.
Wow. Man,
that's a rabbit hole of crazy right there.
Yeah, definitely. Easy to lay off that Kool-Aid.
It's what I choose to believe.
You need to stop buddying with TK. Moving on. Go on.
Oh no. But we have Richard Jr. saying that he predicts Liv Morgan will attack the host Trish Stratus backstage. Liv Morgan, Trish Stratus. That could certainly be an interesting match down the line that I would like to see.
Yeah, that would be my question.
Well, it is a bit of a... Liv Morgan's crazy, isn't it? Maybe Trish tries to flirt with Dom, and I don't know. He's the hot thing right now, isn't he? Anyway,
No
Yeah.
one wants
let's
30D right now. That's the thing.
All right,
Sorry, I'm talking.
that's a soundbite that no one wants to hear.
let's move on and talk about the women's Money in the Bank, shall we? Because
yeah.
for this one, well, I've been going back and forth. Chaos, I'll let you go first on this one. Who do you reckon is going to be winning this year's women's Money in the Bank ladder match?
So yeah, this one has definitely more people that is less likely to win than likely winners to definitely get it. But yeah, I feel that this one you could definitely do a surprise win, and I'll be so here for it. Obviously, everyone's pretty much voting for Tiffany Stratton. You know, she is obviously the next one to be one of the biggest stars, and rightfully so. She's got the looks, she's got the credential, not the credentials, but the charisma, and could definitely be, you know, one of the top heels in on SmackDown and in WWE as a whole. But yeah, I mean, you could definitely. I do feel like it's a bit too soon, arguably, for her to win. And I feel like, you know, I think she probably is going to be the one that's very close to winning, and then somehow she just gets wiped out, and then the person is going to sneak in after she's pretty much. I assume she'll be gone for for most of the match. She probably got wiped out. It's going to be Chelsea Green. I feel like she is going to be the one that definitely can. I mean, she will go well with the briefcase. And yeah, I feel like she could definitely do some interesting segments with the briefcase. Yeah, I feel like because the men one is for me already telegraphed, but it will still be good. I think this one you could definitely have some fun with it and do a swerve, and then do something similar to what you did with Damian Priest. I mean, I don't think anyone was really counting on Damian Priest winning the Money in the Bank last year, and it was because odds on favorite was LA Knight. So yeah, I feel like this one you could definitely do a swerve. Triple H loves his swerves. And yeah, I feel like definitely give it to Chelsea Green, and she could do a lot with it. Whether she wins it, yeah, I guess you could probably make her win. You know, through fluke. You know, she's known to be getting fluky wins. Like that's how she she qualified, and it wasn't the most cleanest of wins. She got him just barely. So yeah, carry on that stick that she's got going on, and yeah, she's great, man. She deserves way more, and yeah, give her a little stint
Absolutely.
with the championship. So yeah, my money is on Chelsea.
I mean, I've been stuck all week between Chelsea and Tiffany, but ultimately, the reason I made this call, the call I'm about to make, is because of these two comments. Well, not because of these two comments, but I thought the same thing as both of these comments, and that is that if Chelsea wins, it'll be the first failed cash-in, the women's cash-in, and yeah, Chris Leclerc basically says the same thing as well, and I agree. I can see her winning the match. I can't see her winning the title.
But that's the thing. So my counterattack is obviously if Jay wins, I feel like it's most likely he's going to fail. So we're going to have two back-to-back fail cash-ins.
But that's why I don't think it's going to be Chelsea. And I'm going Tiffany Stratton. I was stuck all week. Tiffy time or Chelsea Green. But which one of them is going to actually win it? I reckon Tiffany. And I reckon Drew is going to fail the cash-in, as we'll get into a bit later on. But Anthony, what about you? Who are you picking for the women's Money in the Bank?
I think the best person for that position is Chelsea. To be perfectly honest,
okay.
I think she can carry it, and they could have a lot of fun with it. There's so many different avenues you can go with Chelsea. Will she successfully cash in? There's a possibility she could. She could also fail, and I know she's talked about bringing back the Divas title. Like I could see her delusionally going, "Oh, I'm the Divas champ now," like the FTW title that Taz did when he wasn't taught. You could also, if you really wanted to go long term with this thing, is she could be the first person that fails to cash in within the year and still delusionally calls herself the Divas champ. I mean, there's a number of things you could do with her and her character, and it would weirdly work. Like I think even Clark suggested on one of the shows that we were doing. He's like, her showing up at like the Superstore for SummerSlam and cashing in the briefcase at the store for the Divas title. I mean, her character is fun enough that you can kind of do that. And I know Tiffany is the hot hand, but she doesn't need the briefcase she could do it, but I think there's a lot more entertainment in Chelsea as Miss Money in the Bank.
No, I can see that for sure.
Plus, you add in, they usually like to throw the hometown a bone. And the later on in the match, there really isn't many Canadians on this card that's probably going to win. Chelsea is believable, and I think that they could make that work. Obviously, we're going to get into Bloodline later, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. I got a good point. What about you, Coby?
I think like I found it interesting that we took the men's Money in the Bank and we saw that was down to Drew McIntyre and Jey Uso, and that's the Raw side of things. This we're on the other brand.
yeah.
We are talking strictly about SmackDown, and I don't think anyone on Raw has a chance. To be fair, I think it is down to Chelsea Green or Tiffany Stratton, but I see both directions because keep in mind we know what the SummerSlam picture's gonna look like, and that's Nia Jax versus Bayley. It's going to be very, very tough for Bayley to beat Nia Jax, and I do think she does beat Nia Jax. But that's going to be, this is a beaten down champion. She's sore, she's hurting. It's the prime time to make a cash in. Whether or not that's Chelsea Green or Tiffany Stratton, I think that's Tiffany Stratton. But I do I do think it is possible Chelsea could win because she'd be the one to taunt. She'd be the one to stand ringside, stand backstage saying, hey, look at me. I have the briefcase. And then also you see Piper Niven, her heavy, being the one who
that's a good point as well. Like
there's a
said,
lot of
they've got a partnership.
There's a lot of storylines, directions that they could go with the Money in the Bank on Chelsea Green's side. But Bayley hasn't lit the world on fire with this SmackDown women, or not even SmackDown, with this championship reign.
The version, yeah.
And I think Tiffany Stratton needs it. I think putting it on Tiffany's the move right now. I think.
Yeah. Well, we all agree once again that it's either one of two people. So, once again, we're divided 50-50 between Tiffy and Chelsea Green. But something which we are not divided on is our love for Next Level. Now, if you guys don't know what Next Level is, let me tell you a little bit about them. Basically, they put all our social media links in one place. And that one place is nxconnect.me/Wrestling Republic to see all our content across all platforms, all linked in one place. They now also have an app. They have a Next Level app, and within that app, there's another app, and that app is especially just for wrestling. It's just for the wrestling community. There's tons of content on it. It is absolutely brilliant, but best of all, it is absolutely free. Once again, to go to it, all you need to do is go to nxconnect.me/Wrestling Republic to see all our content across all platforms, linked all in one place. But now let's move on and let's talk about the Intercontinental Championship picture, specifically Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker right now, he's got some serious momentum since he got called up to the main roster, and I think that momentum is going to propel him straight to being the Intercontinental Champion. I think we see a title change here, but what about you, Coby? Do you think that could happen?
I think it's tough. I think it's tough to sit here and say it does happen. And I mean, I'm not going to just say strictly because of the booking. Braun Breaker stood tall on Monday. It's obvious he stood tall. He looked good with the championship. But I think I don't know if it happens here. I think if there is a person from Canada, because we talked about Chelsea Green, she's from the other side of Canada. Yes, it's the home country, but it's not the same effect that Sammy or Kevin Owens is going to have in Toronto, / Quebec, or I guess Ontario and Quebec. I as much as I want to say Braun Breaker needs it because the momentum is going straight up, I don't know where that starts to go down, and I don't know if that's Money in the Bank. I guess tomorrow. I don't know if that's tomorrow. There's a lot of, I just don't know. I think there's going to be a really good match. This is going to be Sami Zayn selling like he always does. Braun Breaker is going to get his power moves. He's going to get his spots. I loved the fact that they finally had someone dodge the spear, and that was Sami Zayn jumping over him. It looked good. It looked great. I loved it. I loved a lot of this. But right now, I think Sami Zayn's winning. I think he's winning.
Wow.
That
is a bold call. That is a bold call, but I like it. I like it, Coby. And do you know what? Well, KSK is agreeing. He is saying that he needs at least one title match loss before winning on a stipulation. And Chris Leclerc says the same thing. He'll win it at a SummerSlam, and so does Devs fan 125. But number one Superfly disagrees. He says Braun Breaker has to win it.
I mean that's the thing, is we're looking at it and it's like, yes, he, like I said, the momentum's already going up and up and up and up. It's a linear or an exponential, however you want to view it. He has a lot of potential, but I'm sitting here and I'm saying I don't know if it happens because I don't know what happens next. Who is there for Braun Breaker after this? Sheamus? We kind of already saw that. I mean, we know what we know. It was interrupted. No one more. Yeah, no. Ludwig did interfere, but I also don't know if Bash and Berlin's a multi-man match again. I could see it being Sami Zayn, Breaker, Ludwig, and Sheamus. Some form of that. I can see. There's so many things in this picture right now. It's like, okay, everyone's protected, or even Sheamus and Ludwig in a stipulation match. Bring the Donnybrook back for them. I don't know what you do in that direction. I know Ludwig said he had a broken ribs, but I just don't see it happening. I don't think a loss is gonna hurt him, but I also don't think he has to win this. And I do think Sammy wins this. I don't think my gut tells me Breaker loses.
Well, a bold prediction indeed. But Chaos, what name are you going with?
So I mean, I understand you both make very great points. Braun Breaker is obviously, the momentum's high and whatnot. But yeah, I feel like he needs to be humbled. I don't think now is the right time to do it. And the one thing he done the worst thing you could ever do if you're a WWE fan. And what he did was hold the championship 1 week before the pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's true. That's true indeed. What about you, Anthony?
It's done.
This is the one match that I'm really not sure, because I could see it going either way. I mean, obviously they're giving Breaker the O2 Brock Lesnar push as the next big thing, and I get it. I've gone back and forth with this. I could see Sammy winning. I could see Breaker winning. If I had to pick one, I'm gonna say Sammy pulls the upset and survives at least one more time. Yeah. I think Breaker is the guy that's going to take it off from him, though.
Wow, that is a very solid prediction indeed. Wow, turns out I'm the only one who reckons Braun Breaker's actually going to get the job done tomorrow night. But we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully, my predictions record improves a little bit. Tomorrow night. But yeah, I wouldn't bet on it. But anyway, now let's talk about the Bloodline versus Cody and R-Space KO, otherwise known as Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, because this 6-man tag team match, we're not exactly sure who's going to be in it. We don't know if Jacob Fatu is involved or if it's Tonga Loa. There's, contradicting graphics and all of that. It's all very, very confusing indeed. But what we do know is it is the Bloodline, obviously, and they're a new faction. I cannot see them, this version of it's a new faction, and I cannot see them taking a loss. I'm predicting the Bloodline here. But Anthony, what's your call?
I think this is the first-rate call you've had so far. Wow. No, it's the Bloodline. It doesn't matter what combination it is. Honestly, if you're taking on one member of the Bloodline, you're taking on the entire Bloodline. It's kind of a given. I do think Cody's going to be protected. Randy's probably going to be protected. I think the most likely person that's going to take the pin is KO. I think it's the logical one, because I think they are going to eventual Randy and Cody at some point. But yeah, I think the Bloodline, you need to keep them strong, because you're going towards the OG against this version, the Savage line, or whatever you want to call it. It's going there, and you're not going to take out Paul Heyman in dramatic fashion and then drop a loss in this match. It's just not going to happen. They're going to keep them strong leading into this eventual collision of the Samoan dynasty.
Yeah, I do completely agree with you, and I'm hyped for that match. Chris Leclerc wins. Chris Leclerc agrees that the Bloodline will win as well. Right. Hopefully you do win this prediction, Chris, because that means I'll have one right as well. And Cav Case K is saying that Orton will RKO Cody after the match. I'd love to see that match, but that might be a little too quick and out of nowhere. But then again, that is the RKO.
That is the whole point,
Yeah,
Ben.
that's the whole move. It's
What about
literally the
you?
tagline.
What about you then, Chaos? Who do you think's gonna be winning this? Bloodline?
Yeah. It's I think it's gonna be Bloodline, and they're gonna be some collision between Orton and Cody during that match, and then Orton's gonna get frustrated, and then arcade the boots off Cody. That is I'm here for it.
Wow. I love that. What about you, Kobe?
I mean, it's exactly what I said. How much long ago? You cannot shoot the bloodline in the foot. You're trying to build these guys up, and you're trying to give them the momentum, make them a threat, give them a reason to believe that they are. This is, I mean, like Anthony said, this is the Savage bloodline, or the Savage line. These guys can't lose this match unless Roman Reigns is showing up, and I don't think he's showing up.
That's what I was about to ask you guys just before we moved on. What's the likelihood of Reigns showing up with Heyman?
I think Reigns.
I think it's
shows
low
up
now.
I think SummerSlam's the earliest we see the return of the Reigns.
I think
That
he
makes
will
sense.
be. I think he will be showing up, Chaos, but I don't think it'll be in what we just spoke about. I reckon it is going to be in the main event, and let's move swiftly on. That's the perfect transition for it, right? Main event, I have two different theories, and I'm making a call where my prediction will be right if either of the theories happen. The first one is why I picked Drew to win. When it's
You don't
perfectly
get
allowed.
predictions.
No. I'm only predicting one winner, but for both my theories it would work. So basically, if one of these theories happens, then everybody's called me stupid for saying it, and even if I get the McIntyre one wrong, that's fine. If the other one's right, then at least I got them both right. And the prediction number one: Roman Reigns returns, costs Rollins the championship, and Damian Priest wins. Why has he done this? Well, Roman Reigns has become obsessed with Seth Rollins ever since WrestleMania. He blames Seth Rollins for the loss. We know Roman Reigns doesn't keep up with the WWE product. They've made a point of saying it so many times on WWE TV. They also made a point of not drafting him at SmackDown and instead having him be a free agent so he could go to either brand. Paul Heyman said he hasn't been able to get in contact with him. And now, well, of course he can't get into contact with him. Solo Sikoa claims he has. I think that's a lie. But I think we'll get onto that at a later date. I reckon in storyline, and it's a bit stupid, but I reckon this is what's going to happen. I don't think Roman Reigns knows anything about what's going on SmackDown, and I don't think he's going to know anything when he does return, because I reckon he's going to return and take out Seth Rollins, and it's as simple as that. He returns, he looks for Rollins, he finds him, and he takes him out. That is prediction number one. So Priest is winning, right? Priest is winning. That is my pick. Prediction number two, and this is the one which is probably more likely. I reckon Drew McIntyre is going to cash in during the match, making it a triple threat. Punk costs McIntyre and in the process accidentally costs Seth Rollins, and Damian Priest wins by pinning Drew McIntyre. That then also plants the seeds for the Punk versus Rollins feud down the line as well. So overall, I'm picking Priest to retain. I don't think the Judgment Day is splitting up just yet. I think we're going to wait a couple more months for that to happen. But Anthony, let's kick this one off with you. Who do you think will be walking out with the World Championship belt?
Okay, no disrespect, Ben, but that prediction of Roman may be the worst one you've ever done. Honestly, it doesn't make
I'm
any
sticking
sense.
with it.
It doesn't make any sense. You really think Roman's going to come back, take out Seth Rollins, and then he's in the back and someone goes, "Hey, did you hear what happened to Paul last week?" Like, he
No,
knows.
because he comes in, spears, he wrecks everyone and leaves. Exactly what his t-shirt said.
So you
He
completely
wrecks Rollins, leaves.
So you completely believe he's going to take out Rollins the whole thing, and then like 3 months down the road, going, "Wait, Paul got taken out? When? Nobody told me." Like, come on, like, no, just
Heyman's on
no.
it's like he's a
I know.
vegetable. in
I can
ICU.
see it happening.
No.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do this, by the way. But I can see them doing it, right? because they've done so. Triple H in his NXT days when he was booking that made so many plot holes like this too, where it's like he's a bit unrealistic.
You do know this
in his book.
This is WWE booking.
There's
This
a
is not
different
AEW
team.
right now. So like, you got.
It is very AEW-esque. I'll give you that.
All right, there's so many jokes I could throw with that, but I'm not for legal reasons. But honestly, this one I think they've been planting the seeds of Balor forever and a day between him and Priest. And when you have Gunther in the wings, which I believe the title match is at SummerSlam, correct? I'm not mistaken. It's SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So you're going to need a babyface against Gunther. And I know they're sort of doing Priest, but realistically, I think Rollins is the logical one. And I think Rollins will be a transitional champion. So I think Rollins goes over, and we're going to see Priest and Balor at SummerSlam is the logical one. So I think I would go with Rollins here with no Roman interference.
Well, listen, the fact of the matter is, as long as if your prediction's right, then both my situations are wrong. Listen, I'll say this right now. I'm absolutely certain one of my two predictions will be correct. Now, if I was a betting man, I would be backed in on the second one a little bit more. I'm going to be honest, Joe. I think the cash-in situation is a bit more likely. But one of the two is going to be correct.
I should genuinely hope so. That's the direction you're leaning.
Green's on the roulette wheel for Ben's predictions because he went with red and black.
Oh, and you've gone for green. Oh, gosh. It's all intense. Soul saying I need to seek help for my... Oh, Soul, I was saying this, so you haven't had a prediction correct since you made that fantastic call a year ago about the Double or Nothing main event. Ever since then, you've not had one correct.
Wait a minute. He went all in on Jeff Jarrett beating Orange Cassidy for a title, and he lost his hair because of it. So, I mean...
Calf K's K is saying Reigns needs to come back as a face. Yeah, I don't think he's necessarily... I think what they're going to do with it is just like he's going to be a bit of a tweener where he's just going to be himself. Not himself, but like be a violent version of himself, like the tribal chief and all that. And then I reckon when he goes into that feud, it'll happen naturally. He'll have a couple of bangers with Seth. He'll be over as anything. He'll be fine. And then he can be really established as a face and against the bloodline. Chris Leclerc does agree with you, Anthony. Well, unfortunately, you guys are both wrong. But
it's on tape. We'll be fine.
Yeah. Calf K's K saying Seth will reinvent himself after the loss. Well, Coby, will Seth need to reinvent himself, or will he have the championship?
I mean, do I get to bring my shovel out too now? I
All
would think
shovels are welcome.
I would think Roman would have to have a briefcase about yay big to take that check to say he's gonna look stupid like that.
Well, he's just not a wrestling fan, is he? Like they've said on TV, he doesn't watch the product. They've said it on TV so many times, he doesn't keep up with it. Heyman tells him what's happening. They've made a point so many times, including last month.
Roman said he doesn't watch Raw. What makes you think he's gonna watch Raw now? That's what he's always saying.
But I don't think he's watching Raw. I think he just found out where Rollins is, right? Maybe he watched the draft episode. Or maybe he doesn't even know that. Maybe he just knows he's Seth Rollins, so he must be at SummerSlam, right? But here's my point, right? They've made a big point, and Heyman's repeated it since Roman Reigns has been away so many times. Roman Reigns doesn't keep up with the product. He doesn't keep up with it. So, listen, Heyman's now taken out. Heyman's not gotten in contact with him. How will Reigns know what's happening? Anyway, Coby, I'm sorry, carry on.
I found the check Triple H wrote him.
10 million.
Regardless,
probably less than
it would make him look like an idiot. For him to you cannot tell me it makes sense for 3 months of booking for getting people to go. We want Roman and have him return in that way. It makes no sense. It's a disconnect. I can't believe that Roman Reigns would let that happen to him. Roman has the control. We very much know Roman has control over what happens in Roman Reigns' world in booking. We very much know that. Regardless, I don't think Roman's not showing up for either match on this Toronto card. The thing is this entire stipulation mess is weird, and what's going to do the least amount of damage is Seth Rollins losing. because then it's just, oh, Seth can't challenge Damian Priest. Well, guess what? Priest isn't going to last much longer as champion. He's either losing to Gunther or he's getting cashed in on. But I do think Drew McIntyre, if he was winning the Money in the Bank, which I did say he is, I think Drew McIntyre wins this match, because I think Punk costing Drew at SummerSlam makes sense. And there we go. So not only is Seth's stipulation already gone and taken care of, it doesn't matter, he lost. Oh, he can challenge Drew McIntyre if he wins, but it also doesn't do much damage because Damian Priest doesn't have to have an obligated reason to leave the Judgment Day. They're gonna tell that story when they tell it this year, assuming it's this year, I should say. And I do think Damian Priest beats Seth, and I do think Drew McIntyre cashes in on Damian Priest and successfully wins.
Wow. Chris Leclerc is saying that none of my predictions are right, so I guess he's disagreeing with you there, Coby, as well. That's not true. Come on. I am the one prediction.
He got the bloodline.
Yeah, exactly. No, but not only that, the one prediction I'm not entirely sure about is Breaker Zayn, because it could end in DQ, right? But I don't think Zayn's going to pin him, but I think it could end in DQ. Now, it shouldn't, but that's the only one where I'm like, maybe I could have had it wrong. Colin Breaker. The rest, other than maybe, I guess, Tiffany Stratton over Chelsea Green, even then, I'm confident in 4 out of 5 of them, right? And I'm absolutely dead certain, Coby, that I agree with you, and Damian Priest is going to retain over Rollins, because I don't think this is how the Judgment Day is going to end. But Chaos, what about you? What do you reckon's going to go down?
Can I just quickly say that your predictions are as when the execs, the suits at Warner Brothers, thought that Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was going to be the next big thing, and then within a few weeks later, they reported that they lost $200 million. That's why I feel like that's how far your predictions are very low. Anyway, I do feel like if I were to switch my prediction for the men's ladder match to Drew McIntyre winning, then I do feel like Seth Rollins would win due to an interference by Finn Balor, costing Damian Priest to lose the title. Drew tries to come in and take advantage. CM Punk comes in and costs it and make it a fail cash in. That's when you're gonna have them possibly face each other in Hell in a Cell. All that good stuff. With or without Drew, I still feel like Finn Balor is still gonna take it upon himself to cost Damian Priest the title. I don't think it's too soon. I think they've stretched it out long as they could. Of this tease of this breakup of the Judgment Day, and he's clearly said that Judgment Day need him more than he needs Judgment Day. He's clearly said that. That's rubbed Finn Balor the wrong way. He's gonna go to take control and then cost him the title. So yeah, Seth Rollins to take the win. He's gonna be a transitional champion for Gunther to obviously take that title. It is what it is. And yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with it. Either way, Finn Balor is going to interject himself and cost Damian Priest the title.
I cannot see it happening in a that's a lie. I think there's a universe where it does happen, but I don't think it's likely. I don't
You were about
to
to say 1,000,000 years, and you were going to say that was less likely to happen than Roman Reigns going after Seth Rollins?
No. I'll say it on the record right now. Somebody can screen record this. I am absolutely dead certain that there is more chance that Roman Reigns is going to return in the Seth Rollins versus Damian Priest match than the chance of Seth Rollins actually winning the championship. That is what I'll say.
Actually, let me ask the people in the comments quickly. Let me ask the people in the comments. Who wants me to face Ben in 2K24, and then if I win, he is banned from making predictions for the rest of his tenure at Wrestling Public? I would happily face him in whatever stipulation you want.
Chaos, may I offer this suggestion? If he's raw, if you beat him, his predictions have to go through a panel, a tribunal, before they get posted to the general public.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
No,
Has
no,
to be
they have
vetted
to go
out.
through tribal court.
Yes.
Our
My,
own
my
version of
predictions
tribal.
become a democracy. We have to do
Oh!
votes on them.
Check in the comments. Check the comments.
Oh, we can't even show that one. Calf K's K is agreeing. Oh, gosh. No, guys, I am sticking to my guns. I do think, and I clarify it once again, the cash-in situation is more likely than the Reigns situation. But regardless, I am dead set. Damian Priest is walking out still world champion, and Gunther will beat him at SummerSlam.
And you're
yeah.
confident Roman will come in and attack
No.
Seth.
I'm not confident on that.
Here we
That's only
go.
one of the two.
Oh, now he's
That's
backtracking
only...
now.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No. I said there's two scenarios which I think could happen, and the second one, the cash-in, is more likely. But, yes, I believe that there's more chance that the Roman Reigns returns rather than Rollins wins. That's what I do agree on, right? But if I had to put money on something, I'd say Roman doesn't return. But I'd put money on that over the other one, okay? I'm not backtracking. Right, it's just going over everyone's head. Right, that's what's
It's
happening here.
so elevated that we can't comprehend it.
Exactly,
Okay.
it's just over everyone's heads, right? I'm playing a 4D chess here. But
He's
in all
grasping
seriousness,
at the straws.
well, we'll find out tomorrow night. Money in the Bank. It's going to be exciting. Will Roman Reigns return? Will Damian Priest retain? The spoiler for that is yes. But we'll have to wait and see. Very interestingly, Coby, we agree on all our predictions apart from Breaker Zane. Meanwhile, Chaos and Anthony do agree on all their predictions. That is an interesting note heading into this show. So it's kind of divided us here at Wrestling Republic. But we'll be back tomorrow. Same place. Calf K's head. You didn't have to. If only Arsenal backtracked like this, they would have won the title. Well, guess what, Calf K's K? Right? We're winning the league next year. We're apparently signing a mysterious German player. We've signed this amazing, lovely, handsome Italian fellow, apparently, who's fantastic in the back. I don't know much about him, but we're going to win the league. That's it. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.